Hi guys, it's the Hazy Max coming in for my week about 35 update. I've not done a video in a couple of weeks, apologies. I've been trying to weigh myself only fortnightly instead of weekly so that I don't focus on the number on the scales as much and instead focus on how well I'm doing with the food, with the not binging and going to the gym and things. So instead of thinking I've lost £2, I'm thinking, okay, I had 5 binge-free days. I went to the gym 6 days. I had 5 days without chocolate. Those sort of mini celebrations and successes instead of just the number on the scales. With that said, I did weigh in yesterday for the first time in 2 weeks, and in those 2 weeks, I've lost £3. So that's about £1.50 either week. So that's a good result. I'm pleased with that. During that time, I've had like 5 days binge free, followed by 2 days where I've binged. I've had a few more days binge free, followed by another one. It's still sort of an ongoing battle that I am facing. So I'm trying really to focus more on the getting back to binge free than on the getting the weight off at the minute. When I had my surgery, I was, as someone once put it, I had I had a little helping hand. For the 2 weeks pre-op, I couldn't eat bad food because if I ate bad food, it would put me at risk during the operation. So I went cold turkey on the chocolates and on the pizzas and things. And then after the operation, I couldn't eat bad food because it would make me really ill if I ate bad food while I was healing. So by the time it came to solid foods, I'd been, like 8, 10 weeks maybe without sugar, without chocolate, without bad fats and things like that. So it was out of my system and it was really easy to not eat those foods again. And then I don't know when it started to happen, but it was after Christmas that I slowly realised that I could eat some of those foods again, that they didn't make me ill anymore. And then they slowly crept back into my diet, and because they were then in it, it was easier to eat them again and harder to not eat them anymore. So about 10 days ago maybe, I tried to go sugar free. I failed on day one and instantly ate some sort of chocolatey crap. Tried again the next day, failed. Tried again the day after, failed. So sort of really went down a rabbit hole with that one, and the sugar wasn't leaving my system easily. So I've tried to cut back on the sugar in an attempt to eventually go sugar free, but it's still proving quite hard to not eat the bad foods. Not every day, but every couple of days I will have something chocolatey, sugary crap basically that I know I shouldn't eat, but I get a really, really bad craving for it and I'm unable to control that craving and end up giving in. So it's the Easter holidays coming up next week, and that also means a long weekend. So what I'm planning on doing over the long weekend is literally staying home within the confines of my house, getting rid of all the sugar, all the processed crap, and just having 5 days where I only eat, real, nutritious, natural foods to get the sugar out of my system, kind of like a, junkie getting rid of the drugs out of the system, going cold turkey. So hopefully that'll kickstart me back into not eating it on a regular basis, because earlier on it was really easy to not eat chocolate, to not eat crisps. I didn't crave it whatsoever. I didn't miss it. And as soon as I reintroduced it into my diet on a small scale, it started to take over again. And I need to get in control of that and remove it from my diet completely and just never touch the stuff. I know one lady who had a gastric bypass and she's now 2.5 years without touching a single piece of chocolate. If I could get to that stage, I would love to, because if I eat the one piece of chocolate, I know that I will want it again. In a day, in a week, whenever, I know that one piece will lead to me wanting more. So I need to remove it and get it out of my system, at least for, 6-8 weeks again, like I did when I had the op, and get back on track completely. I mean, I'm not gaining weight or anything, so I'm not doing badly, but I know that the food is controlling me. I'm not controlling the food, and I'm not happy with that. um, One of the reasons I probably am doing well is that I have upped my exercise. I joined a new gym a couple of weeks ago, and I hired a personal trainer, so that once a week I go in and he does something called HIIT with me, which is high intensity interval training. And we do that once a week. And then in between that, I'm doing spinning classes a couple of times a week. I'm doing a boot camp class a couple of times a week, which is like kettlebells and TRX and lifting heavy weight balls, sit-ups and that sort of thing. And then I'm still trying to do some treadmill walks, the odd 5K, a little bit of couched 5K, or run a mile or two, see what I can do, on top of my daily job, which is walking like 4 or 5 miles a day. So the exercise is going up, which is keeping the weight off even when I have a bad food day. Like BJW said, a bad food day post sleeve is still about 2,000 calories. It's nowhere near the, 5,000 that it used to be on a bad day. So it's still not as extreme, which is a really good thing. But obviously it's not the right track to be on, and I want to get off that track and get back onto the, I never eat processed foods, I never eat junk food, because, I had weight loss surgery. I didn't have a miracle tool. If I don't eat the right foods, the weight is not going to stay off. And it's true what they say, nothing does taste as good as it feels to be slim. Last week I went shopping and I tried on 4 size 10 tops in the changing rooms, and every one of them fit me perfectly like a glove. And that feeling when I was trying them on and clothes looked good, and it wasn't so much that they were fancy tops, they were basic tops, but they fit and there was no overhang, there was no flab. I can now put on most things and they don't look bad. They look okay. Whether they look good or not is a different question, but they look good on me. They don't, when I was fat, it was a struggle to find one thing that looked good because my body underneath looked awful. But when your body looks better, you can put more things on it and feel good about yourself in them. And that feeling when you're standing in the changing rooms and you try on an outfit and you look good, you can actually see in the mirror that, you are pretty, that you are slim, you do look healthy. That feeling is absolutely priceless. And that's what I'm trying to hold on to when I have a bad day and when I want to binge. I'm thinking, no, think about that feeling when you stand in front of the mirror and you are actually happy with your reflection. So that's the aim that I'm going for. I want to be happy and to feel good about myself. I'm only about 14 pounds away now from goal weight. I'm now 149.5. And my goal weight was about 135 pounds ish. That's just a number I pulled from thin air when I first started the journey. So I'm really not far away. I could do that in a few months with hard work and, get it for my 1 year post-op. But right now, I really need to focus on the getting completely binge free and staying away from the junk food and the processed food. I did talk to my doctor a couple of weeks ago, and I asked him to refer me to a psychotherapist, I think it is, or whatever. I can't pronounce them. But for some CBT and self-esteem therapy and some sort of counselling on the eating and, why I'm eating the foods that I shouldn't be eating, because it's not about knowing what foods to eat. I know I could talk to you for hours about nutrition and what it does to my body and what I should be eating, but it's the emotions that overrule the knowledge that that makes me turn to binge eating. And when I was bigger, I understood that it was because I didn't feel happy in myself, I turned to food for comfort. But now that I'm happy in myself, I shouldn't be turning to food for comfort anymore. So I want to get to the bottom of why I still am. Am I still not happy with myself? What's going on? Another thing over the last 2 weeks is you guys know that I moved home recently. And since moving home, me and my boyfriend split up about 10 days ago, maybe. So that has been quite hard on me, and that may be one of the reasons that I have been binging over the last few weeks. We had a rough patch for a couple of weeks before the split, and I thought it might be on the verge of happening, so I was binging then because I was stressed about whether it was going to happen and what that would mean for our friendship. And then it did happen, and then our friendship has gone downhill a little bit since, because obviously it's tense and it's strange because we're no longer a couple, and we have been for the last 6 months, year, whatever. So that is putting quite a lot of stress on me, and I'm not really dealing with it all that well, because as well as being my boyfriend, he was my best friend in the world. So not having him around as much is really hard on me. And especially as he was my main support after the surgery, now that he's gone, I'm having to deal with it all on my own, and that's a lot of pressure. I know it was a lot of pressure for him to have to support me through it, but now it's just me, and relying on just me is a lot harder than having someone there to support me all the time. But I'm staying on top of it, and I'm always conscious of what I'm doing. If I do have a binge, then I write down the foods that I've eaten. The other day I actually wrote midway through the binge, I wrote down my feelings as I was eating the food, so that I could look back and say, this is how I feel when I'm doing it. This is what it makes me think. This is the process, and hopefully that will help. So I'm definitely on the road to recovery. I'm just struggling somewhat. Like I said, I'm still down 3 pounds for the last 2 weeks, and I'm still exercising right 90% of the time. I'm eating the right foods. So it's still all steps in the right direction. It's just, nobody said this was going to be an easy journey, and it does get harder the further out from surgery that you get. So it's a constant battle to make the right choices, and you just have to sort of learn about yourself as you're doing it. Learn what triggers you to eat a certain food, learn what pushes you to go the wrong way, and learn what motivates you to do the right things. So I'm still trying. I'm still here. I'm still accountable to my own actions, which I think is really, really good. Um, so over the next 2 weeks, I'm being quite optimistic, and I'm hopefully going to try and lose about 4 to 5 pounds in the next fortnight. Normally that's way too big a goal in a fortnight, but because it's the Easter weekend, and I'm going to try and cut out all the crap, and I'm going to increase my exercise, do like a little mini at-home boot camp, I think that 4 to 5 pounds over a fortnight is doable. But we shall see. So if I don't check in with you guys before then I will see you guys in a fortnight. Thank you for watching.